I'm going to reveal why the ancient Aztecs invented Jimmy Page. You're listening to the Beat Motel Podcast, and we need to warn you that we like to use words like fuck, shit, and syndicalist, butty scrutux, angry flap, and foot biscuits. And we don't often bleep those words out, apart from because we're not complete animals. But if you understand that and you like music, then listen on. Hey. How are you, Dr.
Kids.
Sam? Hi, kids. Welcome to another fun-packed show. You're here with Beat Motel, and you're going to learn nothing. I can barely see the screen because my glasses are all steamy.
Yeah, I mean, particularly bad idea that people come here to learn
I don't think anyone
music
actually
facts.
Yeah. Well, some facts. So people will correct us if we get everything wrong, which I think is quite enjoyable.
But people, if you're going to correct us, I want to see your working out.
I want to see. The only person's working out I never want to see is the constipated mathematician, because they work it out with a pencil. I think I've done that joke fairly recently on a recent episode.
But I blanked it out. I was traumatized.
Well, with good cause. Right, so let's launch straight into this sort of music podcast with your riff of the week. Expecting hardcore with this band's name. Who's this?
Yeah, that's Gorillatos with Panglossian Mannequin. I want to say Mannequin.
Mannequin. I'm impressed that you got Panglossian straight off the bat like that. That was smooth.
I mean, I have read some books about French philosophy in English, but also, frankly, Finnish words are much harder. I mean, like shopping centre is Kauppakeskus. Like.
I like
Panglossian. Piss easy.
I think at least
after Finnish.
Most European languages, you look at a word and you think, I can have a run at that. I'll have a go. I can remember the first time I went to Helsinki, there was outside McDonald's there was a sign that had like 4 A's with little circles in them. Little circles above them, about 4 A's in a row in the middle of the word. And I was like, I have no idea. It's like I did some theatre work in the UAE, and all the signposts and stuff. It's like, I don't know, squiggles. It's really hard. It sounds like I'm being a real lazy British person, but no, it's quite hard to break your way into a language that doesn't use the Cyrillic alphabet, I think.
I think that we are white Britain, for the most part, is quite a monolinguistic culture. And there are aspects to that. There are more details to that than I think people might allow. So there are local ways of speaking still. There are local accents, there are local dialogues, and so on and so forth. But that's like a variation on a theme, if you will. But there's also a struggle, with learning another language as an English person, which is pretty much anybody under the age of about 60 in Helsinki has a pretty good grasp on English for the most part, and so sort of that need to learn Finnish rather, is not as sharp as maybe someone who doesn't have English.
I learned British Sign Language because I was used to do support work and I was on shift.
British Sign Language.
Do you know what that 2 fingers up thing really should be? No.
Why is that something, not that?
It probably is. So that's the famous one, sorry, it's again great audio content here. I was making the sign for bullshit. Sam's just randomly hitting parts of his body. Anyway, that was your choice. Why was that?
That was my choice. I haven't had much time to listen to music recently, but it's one of the modern albums. The album came out this year, and it's one of the few ones that I still have highlighted, and I enjoy listening to it when I have listened to it. And I think it's a really, it's got sort of like that. I like that sort of day glow keyboard sound, and alongside like a indie post punk hardcore sort of thing going on as well. So it's a very enjoyable album. I like it. I wouldn't say it's amazing, frankly. No offense to Gorilla Toss, but it's not like mind blowing. But it is. It's worth a listen, and I go and see them if they came to town. I don't know how much. I don't know how much more praise you want from me.
It's all right, but it's not great. We've chosen it for the podcast, but could do better.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good, but it didn't set my genitals on fire.
Well, let's move on to my riff of the week in that case, which is, as a very simple explanation, I won't dwell on, but I will explain. It's this song. Listen to the bass. I think that's just one of the nicest little bits of, for an indie band, nicest bits of sort of Motown-inspired bass playing. I think that's lovely. Do you know who that is?
The Happy Mondays?
Not a bad call, to be fair. No, it's the Stone Roses, a song called One Love, which is...
This is the bassist who just died, is it?
Yeah, so just chose it because Gary Mountfield, by all accounts, a thoroughly likeable person and very funny. Also, the bassist in Primal Scream and loads of other stuff died, and that was been a bit of a shock, really. And
what did he have?
Don't know. No details given at all. But it made me realise just how strong that Motown influence is in that period of indie. Because the same with the Charlatans. The Charlatans bassist was basically trying to do Motown bass stuff.
He went off on a pleasing little wander.
There's loads and loads of stories. Like the whole of Friday just gone on Six Music. Obviously, it's massive news. They played the whole first proper album in full, and loads of people were writing in with stories because Gary Mountfield's a bit like the Replacements. There's a lot of stories, and they're all generally quite funny. And there's none of Paul Westerberg can be a bit of a sod, I think. Not so much. And somebody said they're in Manchester in a shopping centre, and they bumped into Manny, and he was a proper like cheeky chappy, and he was like chatting and he went, "Oh my god, there's a traffic warden outside," and he ran outside, and the guy who wrote in Six Music saying he had like a blazing row with this traffic warden, and eventually the traffic warden just gave up and left. And he went back in, and this guy was like, "Shit, man, was that your car?" He's like, "No, I just fucking hate traffic wardens." Like the idea, just like, I don't know, it's probably not great for traffic wardens, is it? Right, let's move on to the theme for this week. The theme for this week.
They're just doing a job.
They're just doing their job. In my experience,
I hate cars, so I think
same here, and it's particularly galling for me to get a ticket from traffic wardens because I don't own a car. I like borrow Emma's car and get a ticket. It's like, oh.
Well,
right.
I had just to take. There was a few months ago. We occasionally hire out cars when the weather is fair here because we can go slightly further afield and explore, stuff a little bit. And so hired a car on the weekend and parked it up on the Friday, and then we were just getting ready to go out, and I just decided to take some stuff out to the car on Saturday morning. Fucking gone.
What? The car had gone?
Yeah. The whole road, all the cars were gone.
Like the Mary Celeste, but with cars?
Yeah. Well, no. What they had done is that they had moved it was Public Service Act because because things get so dirty during the snow, under the snow, and so much of autumn just gets buried under it, and so on and so forth. They give like every so often they give the roads like a really deep clean.
A good scrub.
Yeah, and they had put signs up. I would say signs was out of the way to the point where people who own cars got their stuff towed away, and um, it wasn't towed away to a pound. It was just towed away around the corner. And you have, but it was like, imagine coming outside the door of just with a rental car, and it's just, you're sort of going, oh, this is great, and it's just, where's it gone?
Dear, talking about being pleasant to traffic wardens. I was in Germany, working in Germany once in Munich at an exhibition, and the only transport we had, everyone from this client's company went over. The only transport we had was a long wheelbase Mercedes, and I was the only person on the on the docket, on the thing, so I was the only one who could drive it. And the whole rest of the party, so the owner of the company, managing director, everyone else, they went out for a meal, and I wasn't feeling it. So I made some excuse about I had to go to a shopping centre to pick up something or other. So I was driving this long wheelbase thing. I found a shopping centre, and I was like, wow, there's like a parking lay-by right outside this shopping centre. How incredibly convenient. So I went in, bought whatever it was, came back out, and the police were, I wouldn't say, you can't really surround a van if you're just two policemen, but they were
having a good look.
They were having a good look, and I went up, and that in Bavaria, the amount of people who speak English isn't as high as it might be somewhere else. And I literally held my hands up and said, I'm really sorry, I thought I could park here. And that's when he pointed out that by the driver's door, there was a sign with the towaway logo, the towaway graphic on it. Sign was so big, I'm surprised I didn't hit my head on it when I got out of the van. And it was like, we've got to tow your van. It's the law. And I was like, well, when will we get it back? He said, it takes about 2 weeks. And I was like, fuck, we're here for the exhibition's 2 days long. And without this van, had all like tons of stuff in the back what he needed for the exhibition. I was like, this is very, very bad. I think I said that to him. I said, look, I can only apologize. I'm only here for a couple of days. I didn't mean to cause, and it's because I think it's like a lay-by where it's reserved for ambulances, basically. So if somebody gets, so I'm literally like, oh, there is no way. I'm not being arrogant and going, oh, fucking, no, I am horrified at myself for having done this. And so he gave me a ticket, and he said, well, you need to pay this within an hour, and then we'll let you go. And I was like, thank you so much. It's like €200 or something. I was like, that in the bigger scheme of things, that's not so bad. So I went straight back to the hotel and logged into the police website to try and pay the fine, and nothing was coming up. When I put the number in the docket on, nothing was coming up. And then I noticed that they'd given me the top sheet of the docket and the middle sheet and the bottom sheet. I was thinking, that's odd. Surely you just rip the top bit off and then they keep the other bits. And then I found out when I was speaking to somebody German the next day that the traffic police, or the police as a whole in Germany, especially in Bavaria, it's seen as a bad thing if they have a high level of fining people. Mm. So in this country, there's always the allegation that traffic wardens have to meet a quota, which is bullshit. That just doesn't make a lick of sense at all. But in that part of Germany, if the end of a shift, the police go, yeah, look, we had to give out this many fines, it's seen by the people of the city as a sign that the police are failing, because they're not maintaining order that would stop people from doing that. So I think he had to do something, but he deliberately accidentally messed up the fine. I was so relieved. And then I left the country 2 days later and haven't been back since. So I don't know if there's like warrant out for my arrest in Germany or something. Hopefully not. I imagine they've got other things going on. Anyway, let's go to the theme. I just thought you might like a little story. Did you like that little story?
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. Yeah. Nice detail.
I'm full of them and full of it. Right, what's the theme this week, Dr. Sam?
Oh, what is it? Acts we used to hate, but now we love.
That's much more concise than what I wrote down, which is acts we didn't used to like but changed our mind.
I literally copy and pasted from the list that you gave me.
Oh, did I? I need to update that. hate, but now we love. Now, it's always great getting clarity on the theme when I've already chosen my tracks and prepared all the clips. But let's launch into this with your first choice, which I've got to say was a surprise. How fucking big's that kit? Running along a drum kit. You know the story about Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed? You know the reason it's got two bass lines? It's because the bass...
He wanted to get paid twice. He
wanted to get paid twice. So I assume the drummer in that clip was doing the same thing with his rototoms. I have never heard so many fills.
I understood that it was a drum machine drum solo.
Oh, that's really interesting. I don't think it is, because they had the Linn drum back when this came out, which was the first genuine thing that almost sounded like drums, but there's a woo in that sound that might be samples. I'm going to have to look. So tell us who it is and why you chose it.
Well, obviously it's Bonnie Tyler with Holding Out for a Hero. I chose it because to try and sort of get my kid, sort of interested in like music, but also to sort of like say that his music's quite a lot of fun. I've got a playlist on my phone. So when we plug it, we go into a car, I plug in my phone, and we listen to the playlist. And it's got like, and most of the stuff, because he's into his films, most of it comes from like films. So a lot of it is like stuff Bonnie Tyler's Holding Out for a Hero is on the Super Mario film. So it's like, okay, I'll add that in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you've learnt something today. And I'm not a big fan. I was never a fan of it. I think I've seen Footloose sort of once.
Is it on Footloose as well?
Yeah, I always thought it was slightly grotesque, over the top piece of pop music that just has nothing for me. And having listened to it earnestly in the car, going, I'm not sure I like it, but the production of it and the engineering of the song is so over the top. There's such glory. I mean, it starts big, and then it just gets stupidly bigger. The rest of the song, yeah, and it already starts gargantuan with big sounds and big like it starts at 100 and goes up, and it's amazing in that way. I'm absolutely in love with the production of the song.
Well, I just gone.
Yeah.
Just looked up the personnel for this and the listed as a part of the personnel is the Linn drum. So I was right whilst doubting whether I was right or not.
Yeah. So yeah. It's a magical, ridiculous song, and I now have a lot of time for it because of how stupid the production is. It's so glorious. Yeah.
I hated that kind of production at the time. Although I remember this because I think it was the theme of a short-lived TV program, like a MacGyver type thing. But I think of it now as the Trevor Horn production. And if I think back to the equipment they had and what they had at hand to be able to record this way, it's remarkable how good the production is. Now it's kind of relatively easy to get a very, very good production. Even idiots like me can mix stuff and have it sound half decent. But that was the 80s. Bonnie Tyler's also interesting because she never learned to sing properly. This might be apocryphal. She never learned to sing properly and blew her voice out basically just by belting, and you can hear it proper crack at the end of that little clip that we just had. In fact, I'm gonna play that again because it's quite a pleasing little a little bit of vocal. It's raw, isn't it? Right, lovely kick-off one. I'm going to launch on to my phone. Christmas track.
When you let me down, black and blue.
Not Agadoo. Pardon, is that Henry Rollins, did you say?
Yeah.
I've got a feeling I might have actually used this before. And it's not the song I wanted. So, do you have a guess? Have a guess at the year, because you're really good at this type of music. You tend to be quite spot on.
It's definitely 80s of some sort. Like late 80s, I imagine. Like 87 or something like that.
Earlier.
What is it? 83?
78?
78.
Which for that, I think is pretty...
Pioneering.
Exactly.
Sounds.
But one of those bands that was, I don't think was ever particularly massive. They were big in Australia. They're a Kiwi band called Split Ends. So ends being
I
ENZ.
appreciate the energy to it, but it's pretty scrappy and ropey and just sounds, just the raw sounds of it.
Well, I didn't like this. So Emma brought this into my life. So one of Split Ends is a guy called Neil Finn, who after Split Ends formed Crowded House and then joined Fleetwood Mac, bizarrely. And I never particularly liked it, but yesterday morning, Radcliffe and McConey show, they played a very different type of Split Ends track that was not prog, but it was a bit more like, sounded a bit more like Sparks. Shit, I've just realised there's a massive line to draw between Split Ends and Sparks, isn't there? Do you think sort of sonically and the energy?
Well, sonically, but I don't know. Sonic energy-wise, I always felt Sparks were quite refined with the way that they expel energy. It's not hectic. It's very controlled.
Yeah, no, Split Ends are hectic. If you see the video for this, it's nuts. They used to dress up really, really strangely, but it's a frantic, almost like panicked energy that the band has when you see them, when you see videos of them. Like they've like, right, got 10,000 budget, 2.5 minutes to make a record and make the video, and then the place is going to burst into flames. Okay, we'll go. It's got that kind of bonkers energy to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's move on to your next choice.
Oh, that sound at the end. I didn't actually listen to the whole clip when I sent it to you. That sound at the end of his screech with someone else's gurgle.
So screech cool. With someone else's gurgle. What a phrase.
I guess I lost acts that I sort of ran out of ideas, and I did this quite quickly, this list. And it's not so much Cradle of Filth. Cradle of Filth were probably the first black metal band, along with Dimmu Borgir, who I was conscious of in the late 90s. And this is from Cruelty and the Beast, which was sort of one of, I think, the big breakthrough album called Desire in Violent Overture. I swear I heard something about Shrove Tuesday in it.
Shrove Tuesday.
I have time for that album. The drum sound is one of the worst. The drum sound of the original version of it, which that might have been, is one of the worst drum sounds.
No, this was the remix.
Yeah, the remix is much better, but the original, you'd be so like stunned at how bad the drum sound, the final drum sound was, and I guess it's more emblematic of black metal. I've sort of come full circle of, not full circle, I've gone 180 with black metal, whereas I really did not have any time for it. These days, it's still not my favourite expression of extremity, but I certainly have a lot of time for it, and I enjoy it. And ironically, I think Cradle of Filth are one of the last acts that I would think of listening to these days of black metal. But having said that, I still I still sort of have I still have time for Cruelty and the Beast, and I think that's because it was one of the first extreme metal albums that I ever heard. Late '90s. I was just a wee boy, and it was sort of like, oh, what's the hype around this? Which, listen to it. If you can get your hands on the non remix version, listen to it, and you really have to wonder, how the fuck did that get past anybody?
The drums were such a weird afterthought almost sonically for this. Well, a lot of eras of black metal. There's still bands now, and you're like, poor drum, you can barely hear. I mean, it's not as bad as being the bassist in a black metal band. You might as well just not even be there. But
Let's do an episode of yeah.
We're going to make a note. So Cradle of Filth, almost, they kind of fall into a category that we spoke about in the previous episode, which is bands you respect but never listen to. Because Danny, they're an Ipswich band, or they certainly started as an Ipswich band. And to see Danny at gigs sometimes, I don't know him, and he doesn't know me, but he's friends. We've got friends of friends, and shit, he's made a living for 30 years now, playing black metal. Good on him. Nice one. Well done. That's good. Right, I'm going to move on to my next choice. Let's play that game, Sam. Do you know who that was?
No, I don't know that one.
What genre would you call that?
Metal.
Metal? Just straight up metal?
No, I don't know. I don't know. It's a bit thrashy. I haven't heard enough to sort of place it, I would say.
So I chose this. It's a Australian band called Hard-Ons. And seeing some like twinkle of recognition in your eyes there. So 2006.
I know the Hard-Ons. I know all the pop punk stuff.
Well, that's what's so odd. So in 2006, they released 2 albums. They released one on Household Name Records, which is called Most People Are a Waste of Time, and it's pop punk. I mean, like proper pop punk. Great song titles like "What Would Stiv Bators Do," and it's all slightly sugary, in fact. And at the same time, on another label, memory evades, completely skips what it was. They released an album called Most People Are Nicer Than Us, which sounds like that. And they came out at the same time. One of the pop punk one had like, cartoony nice things, and the metal version had more like zombie stuff. And I can remember getting sent the first one by Household Name, listening to it. God, this is fantastic. It's really nice. At the moment, my kid's raiding all my CDs, and he opened up the CD and it's still got the press sheet from, was it Karen at Household Name Records? I can't remember her name. But I can remember putting this version on after loving the other one, putting this version in, just going, no, just instantly just going, no, and just ejecting it. And God knows what I actually wrote about it at the time. But because we've been listening to Hard-Ons in the car, what a sentence to say. I thought, yeah, I'll give it another go. And it came on. I was like, do you know what? I like this. It's so over the top, while still being sort of
heavy
punky.
metal, isn't it?
But I like all the little, like all the little odd little sprinklings, like the ear candy guitar parts in it. But there you go. That's one of my examples of acts I used to hate.
Yeah. Oh, is that emblematic of metal generally these days? You'll give it time.
No, I think metal, more than almost any other genre of music I listen to, I will generally connect to it instantly or not at all. There's not many that I will keep listening to, because there's so much coming out. Like, there's so much really good metal about at the moment that, as lazy as it is, I don't have to persevere with the stuff I'm not bothered by. Some albums I'll give several goes, like the new Agriculture album. I did not know what to make of that at first. Now I think it's kind of brilliant.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting. You know, to some people things are immediate. Other people, they're growers. That Agriculture album was a real immediately one.
Oh, was it really?
That's because I really like atonal extreme stuff.
Well, there's plenty of that going on,
Yeah.
as well as crap loads of other stuff. It's just it's a mad album. I don't know how they made it or remembered the songs or anything. Right, the inattentive timer is running down, so we're going to move on to all your selections today, Dr. Sam, are quite surprising, and this one surprised me particularly.
Once I was young, once I was smart. Now I'm living on the edge of my nerves.
What the feck is that?
What, Japan? Desiring Violent? No, Japan. I'm reading the wrong part of the list. Japan, the art of party.
Japan, Desire and Violent Overture. The art of party. So, why?
Very Bowie-ish to me.
I never got that until just then, actually.
Yeah, that sounds like, oh, they heard "Let's Dance" and went, oh, yeah, we can do that. When was this put out? Art of Parties.
I'm going to say 83, based purely on the sound. Maybe 85.
Yeah. So unlike the Bonnie Tyler thing, which was about 81.
81? Okay, in that case,
Yeah.
the sound is remarkable for 81.
And unlike the Bonnie Tyler thing, this was much more emblematic of the sound. And I spent a long part of my life just going, I think the 80s sounds like shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Could not agree more.
And there was a part, there have been points in my long, long life that I've lived, because I'm an old, decrepit old shit now, that the 80s has come into, in and out of fashion, like 80s music and 80s, sort of things have come in and out of fashion. And I've never, and maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome aspect to it, but, nowadays, I quite like some of the production of pop music in the 80s. I thought the only good stuff in the 80s was the stuff when it went underground. The underground is where the 80s shit production, but my God, what a load of really crazy, amazing, inventive bands the underground had in the 80s. And I've sort of slowly sort of been broken into sort of going, no, actually, I quite enjoy some of that. Yeah.
It's quite some of the. It was all too clean for me. But bear in mind, I was listening to music at the time, and I was into sugary indie. So God knows why I thought that clean music was a problem. But recently, I've been really surprised by some of that era's music, and I've mentioned it on here before. But how fucking good the musicians were. So there was a Duran Duran track, saying what came on the radio, and they were like the absolute nadir for me. Is that like the lowest point? They were like bloody rub. No, they're actually a really good band. Wrote really strong songs, still do apparently. But the bass playing's remarkable. It's so good. So yeah, I would never have thought, if you had have asked the 15-year-old me, or told the 15-year-old me, you're going to be wowed by a Duran Duran song, I would have ignored you and gone back to me copy your razzle. Right.
I want to go back to doing the theme of surprisingly good musicians, or good musicians in surprising places.
I was quite like, can you make notes of these? I quite like the idea of fantastic musicians in shit bands. I think that's quite a good one as well. Right, here's my third choice.
When he hits that high note, it's fucking amazing. Oh.
It is, and again, this type of rock and roll, because it's not metal, is it? This type of rock and roll,
hard rock.
I hated it. I hated it so much. And then I started to listen to a few bits of this sort of music quite a while ago now. Then I was in Out of Time Records, which is an amazing record shop in Ipswich. I've mentioned many times on here. And I bought a copy of Deep Purple in Rock and put it on and just went, whoa, oh my God. It's the organ. Absolutely love the organ. The organ being played through Marshall stacks, which is what they were originally intended for. I went to a music shop called DV247 in Romford, and they've got the old Marshall posters up, and it's an organist playing through them, but there's like that howling cat sound. Wow. Exciting stuff. I think it's a bit silly, to be fair.
No, I mean, yeah, it is a bit silly, but there's also what's the really slow one? Just Ian Gillan. He's just so good on those albums. Those, like, he did 3 or 4 Deep Purple albums, and he's so good on the Deep Purple Mark II, as they're called. It's just so good in them.
One of those bands that I think still going. Some bands just
they still tour.
Never stopped. We found out Hard-Ons are still going, still touring.
Yeah, they put a new album out fairly recently, I think.
Oh, I might have to dig that in. The Hard-Ons have some fairly great album titles.
I think it's a documentary about them.
What?
Right. The Hard-On. Be careful when you Google Hard-On documentary.
So the album, I'm going to whip you through some album titles. First album title, Smell My Finger, which is...
Deep Purple.
Deep Purple, Smell My Finger. And then there's Dick Cheese. I think Dick Cheese is their sort of breakthrough album, isn't it? But they've released a lot of stuff.
Did they clean up afterwards?
There's an album in 2014 called Peel Me Like an Egg. What's that even? What could that possibly mean?
Shall I ask your wife later and see what she says?
Peel me like an egg. What, like bang you against a desk or something first? Right, we are quickly running out of time, so I'm going to play your last choice. Smell My Finger.
Well, Johnny arose on a May morning, called for water to wash his hand. He loused me my 2 grey dogs that lie bound in iron bands, that lie bound in iron bands. When Johnny...
Sorry, before we go on, I've just got to tell you another Hard-Ons album title, which I really like. In 2021, they released an album called "I'm Sorry, Sir, That Riff's Been Taken." Absolutely amazing album title. Right. Anyway, who was that? Who was the music? Who? What should we be talking about?
That's Hamish Imlach. I think that's his name. Who is a Scottish folk musician with the song Johnny O Bread Isle.
Sorry, Scotland.
He was, sorry, Scotland. But you did produce a very good musician, and I just came across him the other day, and I thought he was emblematic of my relationship with some, not all folk music, but some folk music that I've gone. I hated that stuff. I absolutely hated folk music, and I was sort of broken down by, I guess, repeated exposure to Pete Seeger. And
Pete Seeger broke me down.
And now I've got a lot of time, particularly for like lesser known people. I don't give a shit about Bob Dylan, frankly, but people around that sort of 1960s folk movement, I've got time for.
It's feels to me folk music in my life is like a very slow avalanche that I can see coming and I could run away from, but I won't. There's
When are you starting your folk band? I see an acoustic guitar behind you. I see an acoustic guitar behind you.
That is an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
It's a Fender that I bought from a local dead stock auction, like a house clearance place.
Don't excuse yourself. You bought an acoustic guitar
for £30.
You could have spent that £30 on weed.
Like any sensible person would do. But there's loads of folk acts coming to Ipswich at the moment on tour. And there's always my bandmates are like, "Oh, have you seen so and so's coming to St Stephen's, which is the church venue?" I'm like, "Never heard of them." And they go and they're like, "Yep, that was sold out." So it's coming. It's going to get to a stage where I can't avoid it, and I'll end up loving it. So yeah, good choice. Last one of mine's really obvious, I think. I'm a sucker for organs. Is that Double Entendre?
Oh, that fucking bass sound, man.
The bass
is
just
amazing.
It is absolutely fantastic. And the reason I ignored this band for so long was my own stupid snobbery. So do you know who that is?
I do, but yeah, it's very familiar, but I can't place it.
Beastie Boys with the track Gratitude.
Yeah.
So when I was a wee one, that's when Fight for Your Right to Party and whatever came out. And I just thought, I was listening to Run DMC. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, load of people just wearing silly jewelry and jumping around and being idiots. So I sort of disregarded them. And then relatively recently, I saw the documentary, the one that was made by Spike Jonze. Is it Spike Jonze?
Mm.
And it's a filming of a show they did. They toured, the remaining two members toured. And I just completely changed my mind. Like, that one documentary made me go, this band is fantastic. Because like, not so much the struggles they went through, but after that first album, basically going, no, we're going to learn instruments now, and we're going to be a proper band. And they didn't just get capable; they got brilliant. Yeah, that bass playing it's a wonderful bass line.
Yeah, Filth, the tone as well. It's just fun. Having played in bands for ages and loving a filthy bass tone. You just want to play like that when you have a tone like that. You know, it just makes you like. There's no other way to play properly bass when you've got a tone like that.
When you get that properly filthy tone, it's the only time for me I'd actually just play bass for pleasure. I never play bass by myself because, quite frankly, what's the point? You know, if I'm in a band practice, I will. But if I had that kind of bass tone and deaf neighbours, then I'm sure I'd spend my time just going and just making wonderful, sweet music.
I remember when I was recording something once that's never seen the light of day, but I put a Rickenbacker 4001, the one that you sold me.
Same age as me, that bass.
2 big muff fuzz pedals and like a massive cab, and just I was like, in my head I was like, this is the sound of war. It's so much fun.
The sound of war. Right, we're out of time. I've got to run for a train, so it's going to be one of those abrupt endings. So do you want to say goodbye? No.